Hi, I'm Liz from Caravan Guard Insurance. Lithium batteries are commonplace in the home, from laptop batteries, phones and even electric vehicles. And lithium batteries are becoming more common in motorhomes and caravans. So in this video, we'll discuss what they are, how they work and how they can change the way you use your motorhome, camper van or caravan. I'm here at Road Pro with Andy Harris, and I started by asking him what is a lithium battery.
Lithium batteries are everywhere these days, in power tools, in portable appliances such as vacuum cleaners. But as far as people who own leisure vehicles are concerned, the big thing, the big news is lithium batteries like this. They employ a totally new technology, nothing like traditional lead acid batteries, and this new technology gives them huge advantage over lead acid batteries. So now you know what a lithium battery is, the question you have to ask yourself is, do you need one? And the answer is, as always, it all depends. If you're someone who likes taking your caravan or motorhome to a campsite and you always plug into mains, then you probably don't need a lithium battery. If, on the other hand, you like to be a little bit adventurous, you like to go off-grid, then a lithium battery could be just the thing to enable you to do exactly that. To get away from campsites, to get rid of your orange cable, your hookup cable, and to go out and explore and not be dependent on staying on campsites. So people often ask if they can just drop in a lithium battery in place of the lead acid battery. And the answer is that yes, you can, but we strongly don't recommend it because you won't get most of the benefits that a lithium battery can provide. In order to get the maximum out of a lithium battery, you need extra equipment. So what I suggest we do is go into the workshop and talk to Howie, and he'll show us some of that equipment.
This is our technical desk where it kind of has all the equipment laid out in order to have a successful system whilst you're off-grid and have all the correct charging equipment and discharging equipment in this case. So this unit takes the incoming voltage from the starter battery, which is obviously connected to the alternator in a motorhome and tow vehicles as well. And then it takes the voltage and the power and turns it into something that the lithium batteries actually like. This here is our sun controller. It takes the power from the sun and turns it into something that the batteries will like. Most solar panels that we would recommend going in are around 35 volts. Obviously, if you put 35 volts into a battery, you can blow it clean up. This one's quite an interesting one. It has a dual output, so once the leisure batteries are charged, it will then actually look at the starter battery and it can offer a charge into the starter battery as well. So this device here is something that we would always recommend fitting. It's a shunt. And what it does is it measures the returning current and it just gives us a really accurate snapshot of exactly what your system's doing. This will tell you that you could use your inverter for this many hours until you'd have to think about recharging the battery. So the CTEC is just a smart charger. This particular model is lithium compatible. It looks after lithium batteries really well. You can leave that on charge permanently. It's not going to ruin the lithiums because it will actually drop the charge. The inverter is quite an interesting unit because it takes the 12 volt and turns it into 240 volt. So you can just run like your coffee machine, your induction hob, your toaster, pretty much anything you want as long as it's under 2000 watts. We normally say if you're going to use like a high output load like a hairdryer, to just use the hairdryer because some hairdryers can be really high. This is our BMS, or this is one of our BMSs out of one of our batteries. A BMS is a battery management system. And what that does is it ensures that there is essentially it's a computer that looks after the battery. So the battery has got high temperature disconnect, low temperature disconnect. Some of them can even fire the heaters for some of the lithium batteries that have got heaters. If there was a short circuit event, for example, and I put a screwdriver across the terminals of the battery, this would just simply turn the battery off. So it's a really cool bit of kit. The BMS is what you're paying for in the batteries. Quite a lot of the cells now are pretty much the same. There's 3 basic types of cell. And then the BMS, which is the brains and looks after everything, is the bit that you're paying for.
Lithium batteries aren't cheap. A good lead acid leisure battery, 100 amp hours, is going to cost you between about 100 and 200 pounds, whereas a good 100 amp hour lithium battery might cost you 600, 700, even 800 pounds, or even more, depending on the features that the battery offers. But as I say, if you want to get the most out of a lithium battery, you have to have additional equipment, and that can be quite expensive, particularly if you get it professionally installed. But if lithium battery enables you to use your leisure vehicle in the way that you want to, i.e. not being forced to go to a campsite to get electrical power, then it can be well worth it. Yes, the initial outlay for a lithium battery is a lot more than for a lead acid battery, but in the long run, you will save money. If you look at this battery here, it says on it, and this is a really good quality, reputable battery, it says on it up to 200 cycles, that's the life. With a good lithium battery, you'll get 4,000, even 5,000 or more cycles. So you can see that the lifetime of lithium battery is going to be hugely longer than for a lead acid battery. What's more, with a lithium battery, you won't be reliant on going to a campsite if you want mains electrical power. You can actually have an inverter in the leisure vehicle and use all the appliances that you'd use when you're on hookup, even when you're in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere. Basic ones are, as I showed you with that lead acid battery, it has a cycle life of 200. Now what that means is that it's 200 times that the battery can be fully discharged and then charged again. That's the charging cycle. With a lithium battery, you have 4,000, even 5,000 charging cycles. That's 200 times longer lifetime with a lithium battery. So if you buy a good lithium battery, you may never need to buy another leisure battery, ever. Secondly, you have lighter weight. Lithium batteries are up to 50% lighter than equivalent capacity lead acid batteries. There's no maintenance. You just install them, and as long as they're installed properly, you never have to look at them or do anything with them. They're completely safe. There's no risk of gas or acid escaping. They can be very quickly charged. With the right equipment, you can put 70, 80, 90 amps into the battery when you're driving. So if you discharge your battery almost to the point where it's empty, you go for a drive for a couple of hours and the battery's going to be full again. Lithium batteries don't mind being discharged very quickly. So if you have an inverter, a lithium battery is ideal. And if you do have an inverter, a powerful inverter, you can run all your domestic appliances in the leisure vehicle in exactly the same way as you would if you were on hookup on a campsite. And another huge advantage of lithium batteries is that during the winter period, if your caravan motorhome is in storage, you don't have to worry about lithium battery discharging. They do self-discharge at about 3% on average, but a lead acid battery, if you leave it for a couple of months, it could discharge completely, so that you would go back and find that your battery is completely dead. That won't happen with a lithium battery. So if you spend all that money on a lithium battery, how do you look after it? What do you have to do? Well, the answer is not very much. They are really maintenance free. You don't have to check for cracks or splits or sulfated terminals, anything like that, because it just doesn't happen. The only thing that you really need to be aware of is that in the winter months, and this is true whether it's a lead acid battery or a lithium battery, if the temperature's consistently below zero for days on end, and you've got a tracker and an alarm fitted, then you should go and just check the batteries, make sure they're working properly, make sure that they're in a good state of charge so that the alarm and tracker carry on working.
And there you go, an explanation of what a lithium battery is and how it can be used in your leisure vehicle. Batteries do need care regardless of their type, so don't forget to regularly check the voltage and if needed use a smart charger to keep your leisure battery in tip-top condition. This is especially important if you have an alarm or tracking device active on your caravan or motorhome and it's specified on your insurance policy. For more hints and tips, why not head on over to the Caravan Guard website. Thanks for watching.